Welcome to the Startup Sessions, the #1 web show and podcast for trusting your gut, breaking the rules, and starting something meaningful. Featuring in-depth interviews with acclaimed creative entrepreneurs that have succeeded at building their own remarkable businesses. I'm your host, Michael Knouse, and today I'm here with Zo Tobi, who is a rare combination of songwriter, entrepreneur, coach, and social movement organizer. Zo offers socially conscious rock music, along with life and leadership coaching to inspire, empower, and refuel changemakers. Imagine a life where you could get paid to do the things that you love most while making a difference in the world. Well, this is the life that Zo Tobi's created for himself. And it didn't start out that way, but over time, Zo has learned how to become a visionary entrepreneur and a changemaker. So if you're just starting to wake up to your potential for creating a more meaningful life, this episode is going to give you the inspiration to turn your ideas into action. And if you're already out there working to make a difference, then this episode will remind you why you're doing what you're doing. It's all coming to you right now on episode 14 of the Startup Sessions. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Startup Sessions. I'm Michael Knouse, and this week I am super excited to have a guest on the show that I spoke to. Gosh, we spoke first at least a couple of months ago, right, Zo? Yeah. So Zo Tobi is my guest today. He creates conscious rock music while providing life and leadership coaching. A very unique and powerful combination. I've really never seen anything like it out there. So one of the reasons that I'm super excited to have Zo on the show is that he does bring something very unique to the table in terms of what he offers to the world. So Zo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Michael, and thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm guessing if you're tuning in and taking the time in your day to see what's here, you're probably on some kind of exciting journey looking for things that you can learn, inspiration you can take, and Michael and I are dedicated to giving you the best of what we've got.
Awesome. Fantastic. So one of the things that we realized when we first got on the show today was that Zo is in a new place. He's from the Bay Area, and you just showed me the spectacular weather and the spectacular view that you have. So we're on in the show today and recording at least on your end from an exceptional vantage point there. So glad to have you with the good weather and good views that you bring from San Francisco. In Portland, I'm afraid to say it's a little bit of a rainy day, but that's kind of par for the course down here. But it's wonderful anyways. So since this show is all about really creating that ideal blend of creativity and purpose and entrepreneurship to make a big difference in the world, I thought Zo would be an incredible guest to inspire us and teach us something about facing our fears and showing up fully in life. And one of the things that you do, Zo, is you're a combination of a songwriter and a musician. And how would you describe your music? I'll just let you describe your music to our listeners and viewers.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah,
my music, it's socially conscious. The purpose of it is really to inspire and empower and also renew people who are out to make some kind of difference. And so, the songs talk about things going on in the world. They talk about and celebrate the people who are doing things to make a difference. And my hope is that they provide that little bit of extra soul and sense of renewal that we all need when we're in the game of making some kind of contribution to other people, because it takes everything we've got. If you think of any time that you've been involved in any project, really, especially a project that the purpose is to leave the world or leave your community better than when you found it. It takes all we've got. So this is the I try to make music that you can keep in your back pocket for those moments when maybe that little chattering voice of doubt or worry creeps in and says, maybe I should turn back around and quit now.
I love it. I love it. So I want to do something a little bit different today. I've listened to your music on your website, and I absolutely love it. But for me, the best way for people to experience something outside of describing it and talking about it is actually hearing it and getting that full experience. So I want to take just 1 minute, and I want people to experience a taste of your incredible music, and take that moment that we're going to have here and just listen and feel, because I don't think we often take the time to listen and slow down and feel what's really happening. So with that, I'm just going to play the beginning to a track on one of your songs called Blessed Unrest. And we'll just have about a minute time where we'll listen to the song and the music and the words and enjoy it, okay?
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Enjoy, everybody.
Oh, I am waking up to find my world between the dying and being reborn. I see what is and I see what could be. Can't close my eyes again and go back to sleep. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. How can I change?
Okay. That's hard to start playing and stop the music. It really is. It's beautiful. And I encourage people to go check out Zo's music. It's fantastic, and it's inspirational, and it's unique in the world. All right. We are on pace to do the longest introduction that I've ever done, but that's perfectly okay because your work deserves it. You are also a certified coach and trainer for changemakers and organizations that are looking to thrive while creating a lasting impact on the world that they would love to make. I'll also give you a chance briefly here to describe your work as a coach. First of all, actually, describe what the word changemaker means to you, and then describe what it is that your coaching does to fuel that.
Great. Well, it's so fun to hear a little bit of that song. There's this line. It says, "I'm waking up to find my world between the dying and being reborn." And to me, when we look at what is a change maker, it's an interesting thing because the world has been around for a long time, and it will continue to be. The only question is, will we? And if so, what's our what footprint will we leave? What will be our legacy as a species? Mm-hmm. And so, to me, a change maker at this time in history is someone who is giving their life, giving their energy to being a part of the transition from a whole way of being and doing things as human societies that doesn't really work for our spirit, or for our society, for social justice, or for the environment. People who are making a transition from that way of life that doesn't work to a way of life that is sustaining for all and just for all, that there's justice for all of us humans and the rest of the creatures and inhabitants, fellow inhabitants of our planet.
Okay.
So, it's not about whether you're doing something large or small, but my friend and mentor Lynn Twist likes to say, what's important is the contribution you're making is yours.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love that, because a lot of us, I think, get caught up in comparing, and that's not the point. The point is to
raise your hand right now if you're watching this and you've ever compared yourself.
Definitely.
those around you.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So you are a leadership coach. You coach with individuals and organizations. Tell us a little bit about that work.
Well, if you think about some goal or dream that you've had in life, maybe it's the kind of work that you want to do, the kind of difference you want to make in your community or the world. Maybe it's just, maybe it's a hobby that you haven't focused on, or a project that you've been excited about but you haven't taken action around. A coach is someone who helps you to become really clear on what it is that you really want, what you want to create, what you want to contribute, the life and the work that you want to have. And then to focus your energy to actually make it happen, take action on it in a way that there's ease rather than struggle. Because I know I at least, and maybe some of you out there are familiar with taking action with struggle. You know what I'm talking about, the long work days, the overwhelm, the never-ending to-do list, and the sense that you get to the end of the day and it's like, I did a lot of things, but what did I accomplish? I don't really know.
Yeah.
That mode of living and working is very familiar to a lot of us. Yeah. And a coach is someone who helps you to go from that kind of experience to the kind of experience where you get to the end of the day and you see, wow, I did what I came here to do. With whatever circumstances currently exist, whatever resources and energy I've got at my disposal, I know that I played the game the very best that I could this day. And so as a coach, I support people to gain some pretty practical tools and skills that apply to any area of life or any kind of project or work that you're doing, especially social change work, to help you have that experience consistently.
Nice. Well said. I love how you put that. I've had a coach for the better part of probably the last 7 years now. And it's made a dramatic impact in the direction and the impact and the results that I've experienced in my life. And I'll probably never go back because I value so much in certain coaches, the expertise, but in other coaches, the guidance and the ability to see things that maybe I can't quite see for myself the way that someone else from an outside perspective would see them. So thank you for sharing your perspective on what you do as a coach. I would love to have you share some things about your story. What led you to the work that you do now and caused you to create this really unique path of offering your amazing work to the world?
Well, thanks. I want to emphasize, to everybody watching, in case your comparison mind might be chattering at you, I'm a work in progress. My life's a work in progress. I'm having a great time doing work that I love, that I see as making a contribution that I really want to be making. And like Michael said, Michael's worked with a coach for 7 years. I've worked with a coach for almost 5 years now, and we all need support. We're all on our life journey. We all have more to learn, more to create. So I'm happy to share from my particular vantage point on my own journey, and hopefully what you hear is relevant and applicable. So, Michael mentioned I am a musician and also a coach, and both of these two things form my my income, my livelihood, my business, and it's the most fun and fulfilling and rewarding way that I see currently that I could make a contribution to others and the world. It wasn't always clear to me how I could, kind of have my cake and eat it too. For a lot of my life, I really thought that that it was an either or, that I could either pursue music, which is my passion, it's my deepest connection to the spiritual realm, and it just fills me with so much life. But I thought I could either choose that or choose making a real impact or a difference in the world. And boy, was it not fun to go through life actually thinking that. And so, maybe as you're watching, you can think about, is there something that you love to do that maybe up until now you've been telling yourself it's out of reach, or you can't have it all, or maybe you're telling yourself, I just need to wait a little longer until I get over this next crisis point. And for me, that was how I lived. I got really involved in activism in college, and jumped right into working full time as a grassroots organizer with the Sierra Student Coalition after college, which is the youth branch of the Sierra Club. And I found it really hard to balance, my passion for music, the things that I love to do, and the work, which was, took a lot of energy. And what was interesting was that I saw the young people that I was working with, because I got to mentor and support young organizers all over the Northeast of the United States. I saw that they were grappling with the same things. How do I run this, campaign to get our campus to go to 100% renewable energy? How do I run that? Form a campus group, get all these volunteers involved, and finish my finals on time, let alone make time for that creative project, or take out the paintbrush, which has been gathering dust in the closet for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I saw the people that I was working with who were doing incredible work for the environment, for social justice, get out the vote campaigns, all kinds of great work. They were having the same struggle as me, which was working really hard, making some progress, making a difference, but becoming very frustrated and very resigned, and this experience of burnout, which is like, maybe some of you watching have experienced this, where maybe you start showing up to things a little later, you're dragging your heels, you're more distractible, more irritable, things don't have the same fun or joy or excitement as they used to, and it just seems like it's never going to get better.
Yeah.
And it's a very real experience.
Yeah.
And for me, I had that kind of experience. I just finished co-organizing this 10,000 person weekend conference and action in DC called Power Shift 2009. Couldn't tell up from down, and really wasn't clear who I was, what I really wanted anymore. And luckily, I had a dear friend named Marguerite Chandler who offered to coach me. And I didn't know what a coach was at that point, but I said yes because I knew I needed some kind of support.
Mm-hmm.
And we started working together, and we'd talk every couple weeks. And what I experienced was I'd get on the phone with this amazing woman and be so confused and upset and overwhelmed, and just nothing made sense. And I'd get off the phone an hour later, and in some area of my life or work, I'd see exactly what to do next. I'd have this experience that really all is well. I'd see who I am. And as a result of working with her, step by step brought my passions, brought my love for music back into my life through what I learned from coaching, even as I was making a more effective difference in the world through my work. I got to co-found a nonprofit organization and called Generation Waking Up, which you should check out. It's really great, and really changing a lot of young people's lives all over the planet. And how is it that I could be, making a greater difference and yet also doing more of what I really love at the same time? It wouldn't have struck me as very possible
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned through coaching really is there is a way. There's a way to make the impact we would love to make and live a thriving life. And for me, right now, that looks like being a full-time coach and musician, and making the contribution that seems to be mine to make at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So let me make an observation here, and this is a pretty obvious one, I think, but based on our conversations and the show so far today, the things that have had the most true meaning for you in your life are music and you being a musician and the impact on you and others through that, and also both having and now being a coach and the impact that it's had in your own life and you're having on other people's lives. And those are the two things that it sounds like now comprise your livelihood as far as working in the world. That's what you do, and that's been the largest part of where it seems your joy and happiness and fulfillment have come through up to this point.
Yeah, and just to reemphasize, there have been so many moments along the way where in my mind I can hear this chattering voice that says, that's unrealistic. You're not going to find a way to make a living from this.
Yeah.
You really should take a safer path while there's still time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the thing to note is, in every one of us, there is this part of our mind that is looking for everything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And as soon as we even think about taking a step to change the status quo in our life or our work, that part of our mind gets really stirred up.
Yeah.
And I'm no exception. And I'll tell you, it's not a pretty sight when it happens. And so maybe, one of the key takeaways, if I could have you take anything away from watching this, it would be to get support. And coaches are not immune to this, folks. Every coach needs a coach more than almost anyone. For this reason. If you have a dream and you hear your mind saying, I can't do that for X, Y, and Z reason, talk to a friend who knows you, loves you, sees who you are. You might consider actually hiring a coach. so that you can learn some key skills to navigate those moments. But the thing to know is the fact that you're having those doubts means nothing about who you are, except that you're up to some big stuff that's really important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you weren't, that chattering voice wouldn't be so loud.
Okay. So that's really important to me. And I think it should probably be important to everybody, because I was just having a conversation with my wife this morning about this, because she's a yoga entrepreneur and she's launching this program. And she was talking about the fear that comes up when she gets ready to do something big or bigger. And we had this whole conversation about this exact topic of, that's almost a signal that you're pushing the edge and doing something great when you feel that resistance and that fear. Because that's, as you stated, there's a part of our brain that's biologically the flight or fight response. That's, I think, the reptilian part of our brains, that's the response. It happens. And I'm sure it happens and is triggered more strongly in some than others. But if you can have, like, as you said, a way to get through that and move forward and continue taking those baby steps towards what it is that you really want, then that's really the difference between, I guess, continuing that momentum and letting it stop you. Very key thing to understand. One thing that I hear from people a lot of my clients, people that I work with, come from a corporate background, and that's the world that I lived in for 15 years. And that's a very different world than being a creative entrepreneur in many respects. Not to say it's good or bad, because I worked with people that was where they thrived the best. So that's a great fit for some people. For other people, it's not. For me, it was time for me to move on and pursue something more creative for myself. But a lot of people that are contemplating a change or doing something different or starting a business on the side that may be better aligned with who they are, they face these stories, these fears, and it can be really debilitating and can really stop people from moving forward and taking even baby steps. So one thing I think would be great for listeners and viewers to hear and see is what were some of the fears that you faced along the way to creating what you've created now?
Wonderful question. Boy, do we have 3 hours for this interview? Well, first off, I'll say, I had a great gig. I was co-coordinator, co-director for this nonprofit, Generation Waking Up, and we were doing amazing work that was so, actually, exactly what I want to see happen in the world. And I remember this was just a couple years ago when I started thinking about transitioning out so I could really launch a career in music and coaching, which had been on the side up until then. And I had so many doubts. I mean, I heard in my head things like, stick with what you've got. You've got a great thing. Why are you going to throw it all away for the unknown?
Yeah.
And I heard in my head, what if you're wrong?
Yeah.
What if you just think you're excited about these things, and that aspect of our mind, I'm just going to give it a name so we can call it something.
Yeah.
In the coaching model that I've been trained in, we call that chattering voice of worry, doubt, and fear. We call it monkey mind, which is a Buddhist term.
Yeah.
And it refers to that part of the mind that's always chattering, jumping from worry and doubt and back again. And monkey mind is very deceptive. And you'll hear it in thoughts that there's like an urgency to it. There's a sense of immediate danger in changing the status quo. And I felt that, and I heard that. This isn't going to work out. You don't have what it takes. Nobody's going to understand. People are going to be upset with you. For me, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Hate the thought that people might, be upset or offended or who knows what.
Yeah.
But we each have our flavor of monkey mind. There's something that we're each just afraid of, and it means nothing. It's just the thought that we can count on greeting us at the border between our ideas, vision, and dreams, and the unpredictability of physical reality. Because, let's face it, that's the truth. We only know, we can only count on a few things in physical reality. That things are going to take energy, they're always changing, and they're changing unpredictably.
Mm-hmm.
So who can blame us for having doubts? And especially when you're in liftoff, when you're at the beginning of a project, things take 10 times as much energy as you think they're going to take.
Yeah.
And when they do, we're liable to think that it means that there's something wrong with us or our project or our goal or dream.
Yeah.
When, like you said, it's exactly the opposite. You could say monkey mind, that voice of doubt, it's like a metal detector for our goals and dreams. The closer we get to taking action on something important to us, the louder we can count on that voice to become.
Oh, that's so good. If we could just reframe that and really get that that doesn't mean that we are wrong or that we should stop, but instead that means, gosh, we're on the right track and we need to keep pursuing that, knowing full well that the monkey mind is going to do its thing and say its thing and have its chatter. So do we allow that aspect of ourselves to win out and win the day, or do we continue to pursue what's really truly meaningful to us? And I think,
well said.
Yeah.
And the important thing about this is we can count on the fact that monkey mind will never ever go away.
Yeah.
If we analyze it for decades and decades, it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
And so really it comes down to what do I want to have my life be about? What do I want to be known for? What do I want to see on my tombstone?
Mm-hmm.
Here lies Zo. He took the safe path because he didn't want to upset people.
Mm-hmm.
Or here lies Zo. He did what he came here to do, and there were his ups and downs. But each step of the way, he took action anyway.
Yeah.
And I think we each just need to ask ourselves that question.
Yeah.
Given that our thoughts are very powerful things, and given that our worries and doubts are never going to go away, what are we more interested in? Our complaints, our drama, our issues, our fears, or who we're here to be? The contributions we're here to make.
Yeah.
The difference that we can create in the lives of others, and the enjoyment that this time of life offers to us right here and now.
I love that.
I remember as I was getting ready to launch the fundraiser for my first CD, Blessed Unrest, because we saw we needed to raise $18,000 to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of unexpected obstacles that came up. I remember, I was getting ready to completely rely on my Facebook contacts to do this huge fundraising push on Facebook, and I lost all access to my Facebook account because of a mistake that I made.
Wow.
And maybe some of you watching can relate. You take some steps, you give your best effort, and then physical reality comes along and deals you something you didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just remembering that time and all the racing doubts and worries, and monkey mind jumps in and says, "See, this is more proof that you really should turn back around now."
Yeah.
But in that moment, there's something that is an antidote to monkey mind, and it's gratitude.
Mm.
In every seemingly detrimental or challenging encounter or interaction or situation, there's something for me to be grateful for right here and now. And I remember those moments, those early moments in the fundraiser where things just did not seem to be going right, according to my plan.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kept me taking action was, well, what am I willing to be grateful for right here and now? And so you might even pause the replay of this talk right now and ask, regardless the challenges coming up in my life right now, what am I willing to be grateful for right here and now? And just take a moment and let it in, like, and what do you notice about your energy as that happens? Is it does it contract or expand? Are you more in touch with a sense of spaciousness and possibility, maybe? So those moments are going to come and it's going to take it's going to take the shape of a person, place, or thing that our mind is going to tell us, hey, that wasn't part of the plan. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And the good news is each of the things like that are there to give us the opportunity to master something. You know, maybe it's the opportunity to master grace, which my teacher and coach and mentor, to whom I am so grateful for the contribution she's made to my life. Her name's Maria Nemeth. She consistently reminds me the gateway to grace is gratitude. Simply seeing what is contributing to me right here and now. And if you're looking for evidence of something contributing to you, it doesn't matter whether it's going to appear to you as good or bad. There's going to be a contribution in everything. And you'll notice your curiosity peaking. You'll notice yourself asking more questions like, what might be the lesson for me here? What does this give me the chance to demonstrate about who I really am? Because one thing I've learned about, in this process of really, going my own way and creating this business that's like music and coaching, and there's plenty of challenges. But one thing I've noticed is there is always the chance to demonstrate who I really am, no matter what the circumstances become. And I'm talking about the contribution I'm here to make, to be a loving friend, to be a contributor to my community. We call these life's intentions. To be a visionary entrepreneur. Or something called your standards of integrity, which are the qualities and values that you notice yourself admiring in others because they actually represent who you really are in your heart.
Wow.
For me, to be compassionate, to be generous, to be forthright, to be passionate. Every situation or interaction or encounter gives us the chance to contribute some aspect of who we really are. And I, in every fiber of my being, I believe deep down that's really all any of us really want, is to know that no matter what life handed us, we showed up as who we really are, not our fears and doubts.
I love that. Wow. Such amazing and fantastic wisdom from you today. I know that at one of the lowest points that I've had probably in my life a few years ago, when a lot of things were falling away, and now I realize that it was making way for the new. But at the time, it felt like really crappy. And
Oh yeah.
I had a coach at the time that was having me focus on gratitude and the smallest things. And that was an amazing time for me to be in that space of learning to look at gratitude and surrender all at the same moment, and really be open to the creation of something new and better than I could ever imagine. And that really, I practice gratitude today. Probably not every day, but I do practice gratitude on a consistent basis. And it's a shift. It's a momentum shifter for me. If you focus on what you're grateful for, your mind gets in that groove or that pattern of looking for more things to be grateful for. And I've found that that's just been one of those, I almost call it a secret weapon of mine that allows good things to happen. So thank you for mentioning the power of gratitude, because it is, from my perspective, a very powerful tool that can sound simple, but can also have powerful ramifications in our lives.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to mention the power of gratitude.
Yeah.
And I love hearing what you said. And if any of you are watching and thinking, maybe we're going a little too metaphysical on you, I guarantee you there's something that actually happens in your brain when you focus on gratitude. You shift your focus of attention from fear to being grateful. The fear center in your brain, which we think has a lot to do with the amygdala, which is this almond-shaped little part of our brain, it calms down and cools off. And when it does, we actually show greater functioning in our prefrontal cortex, which is where all the higher order thinking occurs. Our creativity, our resilience, our capacity to see new possibilities where otherwise we wouldn't have. And when we're operating from that aspect of our mind, people who otherwise might have not had a very empowering interaction with us, if they're in our presence, they can sense it. And the thing about creating the life and the work that you want, oftentimes it takes support, the energy of all the other people around us that are here to contribute to us. And when we are operating from our creativity, our resilience, our sense of being present in the moment rather than being afraid of what's to come or angry about what's been in the past, people around us naturally want to be a part of that, naturally want to get more of that. And so me being grateful, any of us being grateful, actually increases the likelihood that more of what we're looking for will come to us in the form of support from the people around us.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird, but it's true. You can say it's weird all day long, but it's true. My coach used to say, the most conscious person in the room wins. And she wasn't saying it from the perspective of, the most conscious person on the room is on some like powerful agenda or whatever. She's just saying it's a simple fact. The person that's grounded within themselves and their purpose for being, and that feels relaxed and okay in their skin, and is okay with really connecting with people on maybe a little bit more vulnerable level, that person, by nature of being in that state, is going to attract the right resources to to make happen what they really want to make happen in the world. So it may sound woo-woo, it may, whatever, but it's true. And I've experienced it, and I know you've experienced it because of the business that you've created. And it's maybe a little bit more unique way to live, but it's a powerful way to live. So thank you for going a little bit deeper in that area and explaining your experience with it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing. When I set out to launch a music career, the main lesson I took from coaching was the power of support. And the first thing I did was seek out a manager, someone who could consult me on the business end of things and support me. And I was willing to. I didn't have a lot of spare money lying around to pay someone, but I knew that I was willing to give something to have that kind of support. And so I remember my best friend, one of my best friends, Greg, from this band Melodigo, he was working with this woman, Bonnie Milner. She was their manager. And I was asking him, where can I find someone like her?
Yeah.
She seems to just have everything that I'm looking for in a manager. Where can I find someone like her? And he said, well, you really you need to ask your friends, talk to people in your personal network. You'll find somebody. And in that moment, it occurred to me, I should ask him to put me in touch with Bonnie. It's like she was right in front of me.
Yeah.
And the minute I had that thought, this is the best, looking back on it, my mind was saying, don't you dare ask him. He's going to be so offended. He'll be insulted. How dare you even, think of using your friendship with him to make this connection? And I was very close to, not asking.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I shifted the focus of my attention to, number one, gratitude, being grateful, seeing that here I have this best friend. He's willing to take an hour of his time on this day and talk to me about my music career. He wants me to succeed. And I experienced gratitude for that. And I reconnected with, am I going to make this moment about me playing safe because I'm scared? Or am I willing to take this one small step to bring my music career forward by enlisting support?
Yeah.
And I took a breath and I gulped and I said, would you connect me with Bonnie?
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, sure, I'd love to.
Crazy the games that our minds play on us.
The moment we're about to strike gold, monkey mind says, I would turn back around if I were you.
It's so true. It happens lots of times a day. That's a powerful story because it's I believe a combination of those meaningful times when we take that step. Those all add up. And you add it up over a year or 2 years, and that's how, I think someone like yourself is able to put together a successful career of being a musician, doing a very just amazing brand and style of music that you do, as well as fusing coaching together with that, and thereby creating this incredible business that sustains you and provides the life that you love and that you get to live every single day. At the end of the day, it's a series of taking those small risks and those small steps. Absolutely. They all build upon themselves.
Yeah. I loved you used the term baby steps earlier, and I just had myself a good chuckle because I know there's been times in life when I thought that there was such a thing as non-baby steps. Like as though, first I'll take baby steps and then I'll take these humongous steps and it'll be amazing. I'll materialize my dreams in a matter of moments. And it is all baby steps.
It's all baby steps.
They never stop.
Maybe that'll be the title for our episode. It's all baby steps.
Yeah, it is. So hey, I say, be willing. Be willing to take the next baby step in front of you. And if you're watching and you like the story that I told about enlisting Bonnie for support as a manager, you might ask yourself, who in my life just maybe is just waiting to support me, if only I were to ask.
I love it. I love it.
And am I willing to ask?
Yes.
And I use the word willing very carefully. Maria Nemeth, my coach and teacher, and she's the founder of the Academy for Coaching Excellence, where I did my coach training, and I'm now actually a course leader on the faculty there. She says being willing is simply the capacity to say yes to whatever is next on our hero's journey, no matter what our voice of worry and doubt and fear is saying.
Wow.
And think about the times when you hear your mind say, I don't think I can, I don't really want to do this, it's not going to work out, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you ask yourself, can I do this? Do I want to do this? Do I know how to do this? Is it going to work out when I do this? Monkey mind is always going to jump in and say, no.
Yeah.
Or just put the littlest bit of doubt in. Maybe it won't work. So that the result is we don't take the action that's waiting for us to take.
Yeah.
But notice if you ask yourself, think of something that you haven't done, that you just haven't gotten around to do it. But to do it would be the next right step in moving your life or your work forward.
Yeah.
Simply ask, am I willing to do this? Am I willing to do this?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what monkey mind says.
Yeah.
Am I willing? And when you say that, that voice of doubt kind of cools down, backs off a little bit, just enough to allow you to take the next right step. Because the truth is, the capacity to say yes to whatever's next on our hero's path, which is the definition of being willing, that is a capacity that you and I and all of us have access to at every moment. Such
a great piece of wisdom. I love that. And two, I think the more times that we practice that, and that we never, I don't think, get truly comfortable with it, but we do get to the point where if we've done it enough times and we recognize that, yes, monkey mind is going to show up and this is how I am going to deal with it and move forward, there becomes a point, I think, where, yes, it's taking that next big step seems fearful, but I know in my mind that getting over here, there's going to be so much gained from taking that step, no matter how fearful, that it's worth it, right? It doesn't mean the fear is going to go away, but you start to develop this knowing that if I just move through it in a way that I can, hopefully feel somewhat good about it, that when I get over here, I'm going to have, an experience that that I'll have enjoyed and that'll totally be worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
That's the trick.
All right. This is great stuff.
So just do that over and over again, and you should be fine.
Yep. So
you won't need to watch the rest of this talk.
Cut out all the fluff. Just do that over and over again every 17 seconds for the rest of your life. Good stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up the show. As I begin to do that, one of the things that I love for people to experience is something unique about my guests, and I love to learn about people's sense of adventure and their hobbies. So Zo, what is a current favorite adventure activity or hobby, or maybe something, really adventurous that you've done in the last few months.
Oh, great. Well, let me turn you around. My fiance Kelly and I, we just moved to the Twin Peaks neighborhood in San Francisco. We
Wow.
lived in Berkeley, but this is the view outside our deck.
Wow.
And I don't know how we ended up with this, but boy, am I grateful. And we weren't actually planning to move to San Francisco at all.
Yeah.
But Kelly's work actually brought us here.
Uh-huh.
And so, in a sense, living in San Francisco is the adventure. But if you look up here at these peaks, they're called Twin Peaks.
Yes.
It is just incredible.
Stunning.
The sunset from that part of the planet is it is something else. So one of my favorite adventures these days is running up there.
Okay.
I actually ran up there today, and the adventurous part was to run in my Speedo, actually. I just said, it's a sunny day. That would be an adventure.
Love it. That's a good one. That is a good one, my friend.
So that is currently. And have you seen the Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
I have, yes.
Oh, it's so great. Watch it if you haven't yet, folks. There's this scene where they go out and they see the sunrise, and it's one of the characters' last sunrises in life. And I don't know if you remember this scene, but when I saw this a couple years ago now, like 7 years ago, I remember thinking, man, I don't see enough sunrises in life. That stinks. And all throughout my life, I have had a really hard time waking up early. It's my Achilles heel.
Yeah.
But these last several months, with the support of my coach, actually, I have been setting some goals that help me to get up. And so I've been getting up early every morning, most mornings, and seeing the sunrise. And it's like by 7 a.m., you've already fulfilled your purpose on the planet. just witnessing that. So if I could recommend anything to y'all that are watching, check out the next sunrise. See what it does to your day.
Fantastic. Love it. So Zo, I'm going to link up your website, your music, your coaching services in the notes for this episode. But tell us, what's the most exciting project that you're working on in the upcoming months? And is there anything that you really want to let people know about in terms of the work that you're doing?
I do. Yes,
Okay.
there's. I'm co-organizing and co-leading a very exciting training that's 4 days long.
Okay.
In the beginning of March in Oakland, California, called the Thriving Changemakers Summit. And if you're someone who wants to make a difference in the world, or you already are, and you want some tools and skills to take your work to the next level, find greater joy and fulfillment and ease, clarity and focus in your life and the work that you're doing, come to the Thriving Changemaker Summit. We've got spots for 60 folks to join us.
Okay.
And in these 4 days, you will, hands down, money back guaranteed, receive the tools and skills that you need to bring clarity, focus, ease, and grace to your life.
Fantastic.
And for me, I took this course 4.5 years ago, and it was the turning point for me. And
great.
The success that I've gotten to experience thus far, I very much attribute it to what took place in those 4 days for me, and applying the lessons that I learned at that training. So please come. You'll find it at coachingforsocialchange.org.
Okay. coachingforsocialchange.org. refuel.org. I will make sure. I'll make sure that's all linked up.
Great. And the only other thing is, if you're curious about this whole coaching thing, first of all, check out Michael. His work is incredible.
Thank you.
If you'd like, I'd like to offer anyone who watches this a complimentary 60-minute coaching session with me, where we can look at your vision for the life and the work that you want to have. I'll help you clarify it, and you'll come away from it with a clear next step that maybe you didn't see before. And
fantastic.
And then if you're interested, I can share more about the work I do with people.
Great.
So
awesome.
You can get that at zotobi.com/gift. So just sign up right there on the site, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Fantastic. I didn't know you were going to make that offer. That's incredible. What a
I
gift.
didn't know I was either.
What a gift for listeners and viewers. 60-minute complimentary call with you. That's fantastic.
Well, I just want to acknowledge everyone who is watching this. I know what it's like to have a busy day.
Yeah.
And in this moment that you're watching this, there's plenty of other things you could have chosen to do.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And making this a priority, and it really says something about how committed you are to your own success, and that you have a breakthrough in your life. So I hope what we've gotten to share contributes to that, and I look forward to being in touch with everyone.
Fantastic.
And thank you, Michael, for
Yeah.
Doing this. I was sharing before this call. Michael is making such a contribution with this show and this series, weaving this tapestry of stories together to show that ordinary people like you and me can, if they're willing, set out on a new course and create a life and a way of earning a livelihood and making a difference that really is fulfilling. So thank you for your service.
Amazing. Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on this show. It's been in the works for some time now, so the day has arrived, and now we're at the end of our conversation, but I'm so grateful for you for coming on and sharing all that you've shared, and for being the person that you are in the world, affecting change and touching the lives of people in such a great and positive way. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. What a blast. Let's do it again sometime.
Okay. I'm eager for that. All right. So for those listeners and viewers, if you've enjoyed today's show, be sure to make sure that your name is on the email list so that you can get these shows delivered to your inbox every single week, along with some other great little gifts and goodies that I throw in on a weekly basis at the startup sessions. And also, you can now get these interviews offered via the Startup Sessions podcast, either by subscribing to the show on iTunes or downloading it directly from the Startup Sessions show page. So thanks everyone for watching and viewing and listening today, and I will see you on next week's episode of the Startup Sessions. Thank you, and take care.
Take care, everybody.